Hey y'all, I'm Carol Corey. Welcome back to my Creating Corner. I'm so excited you're here with me today. If this is your first time, click subscribe and then you'll get a notification when I put another video up and you can come back and play again. I hope you like what we're going to do. So I am really excited. I went for a nice bike ride, I guess about 15 miles, and got home and my May 2025 Mountain Majesties paper pumpkin was sitting in my mailbox. I could not take a shower quick enough and get down here. I really don't think my hair is even completely dry yet, but I couldn't wait to get into this box with you guys and let's see what we have, and maybe we'll do something with the materials. I don't know, we'll take a look. Let's get this onto the creating table and start playing. Hang on. Alrighty. So, paper pumpkin. Everything you need is included in this box except the scissors to get into the box. And yes, I do have my glass mat under here. The stamps in your paper pumpkin kit are photopolymer, and so you really need to make sure you've got a good surface to get a good stamp image. And this is an old rickety card table that I craft on, so this glass mat is a perfect base to get good stamp impressions, but it glares, so that's why I have the grid paper across it. Okay, let's get my address out there and let's see what we have in the box. Okay, alright, so we have Happy Father's Day, you're the greatest, best dad ever, I love you, happy birthday, you mean the world to me. And oh, there's bunches of birds flying around, and there's some other birds in the distance. And to a wonderful man. Very nice. So these are going to be good for all the guys in your life. And it comes with a Misty Moonlight Stampin' Spot. Now, for this video, I am going to use my full-size ink pad simply because I like to leave these sealed up for if I'm traveling or putting together a little gift box or something. Okay. Got the tissue paper, and okay. Oh, how beautiful. Oh, that is so pretty. You mean the world to me. Happy Father's Day. Oh, these are beautiful cards. Oh, let me get in. And I tell you what, I don't live far from the Blue Ridge Mountains. I'm kind of in the foothills, and these mountains that are just, you know, hump after hump after hump. If y'all don't live near mountains, that's really what it looks like. Oh, let me get in, let me get in. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here we've got some tear and tape adhesive. You don't need scissors, you just pull it, put it down, and tear it. Perfect. And beautiful envelopes. This is one thing that I really love about Stampin' Up! Is the envelopes on the paper pumpkin cards are decorated. Oh, there's the vellum. But yes, I love these decorated envelopes. They always could coordinate so beautifully with the cards, and you know how exciting it is when you see something that's not a bill in your mailbox. Well, if that something that's not a bill is in a really pretty envelope, excitement level just went up exponentially. Okay, and here we've got 3 gorgeous vellum mountain ranges. We've got dimensionals here. What a sheet of dimensionals! Man, that's a lot. That's awesome. And we've got some gorgeous little panels to stamp on. Oh, look at these cards. Isn't that the place you want to take a vacation? Oh, beautiful. So we've got 3 of this design. Oh, here's some more vellum mountains. Oh my gosh, how gorgeous and dreamy and smoky is that going to look? Oh, beautiful. Oh, how pretty. Oh. So we've got 3 of these. And here's some die cuts. Man, are we going to want to go rogue? Probably, but we'll see. How lovely. Ah, gorgeous. And then here are the die cuts. Oh, thank you for being the person you are. How lovely. And trees. Look at that scene. Oh, just beautiful. So we've got 3 of those. Good for other kinds of crafting. Okay. And then this, you just use some tear and tape, and it's your black line, so when you put these in a notebook or in a shoebox, you can use this as the little pocket to keep your stamp sets in. Then you can easily read the sentiments off of your the black line here. Here are the directions with a list of everything that goes in the kit, and it also lets you know the coordinating colors: Basic Black, Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, Pecan Pie, and Petal Pink. When you want to use these materials to create something different other than the designs that are in this little brochure right here. And here you go. The best, easiest to follow directions ever is pictorial. So we know we're going to stamp a sentiment on one of the little rectangles. We're going to put some birds in the sky. Here it shows us to layer up with dimensionals. Perfect. And then you put your Happy Father's Day. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to get my materials cleaned up here, and we are going to make one of each of these designs. So hang on, and I will be right back. Okay, card number 1. We will get this taken care of and completed in a skinny minute. Now, let me show you. Okay, so we've got birds that we're going to do on this card base. This card base and the other with this petal pink top are very similar. The other one has a, let me just show you the difference. Okay. This one has the sun up in the air, if you can see that, and this one is more like a sunrise or sunset, okay? And the reason you have to tell the difference is because the difference in the colors of the mountains. Okay, so we're going to start out with this card base. Now you'll notice here it's telling you the different panels A, B, C, and D. We're going to put those down in order. These open circles are dimensionals, and that is a strip of tear and tape. So let's get started. Oh, and if you're thinking, how am I going to stamp my use my stamps with your first kit, and with every one of Stampin' Up's kits, online kits, if there's stamping required, you do get one of these acrylic blocks in your kit. So with your first paper pumpkin, you get one acrylic block, and you just use that for your subsequent kits. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put Happy Father's Day on the little rectangle, if I can get my ink pad open. Okay. We don't push and smush, we just lay it down. These are photopolymer stamps. Now if you don't have a glass mat, to make sure you get a good impression, you'll want to use one of our stamping pads, and I'll pull one of those out in a minute. So Happy Father's Day, we just put it straight down, we don't wiggle. Give it a minute, let the paper drink the ink. There we go. Let's put that aside. Okay, now we're going to stamp some birds up in the air. Okay, this down here. Here's the big old flock of birds. Let me see which direction they have it going. Okay, and these are going to be coming across this way. Beautiful. And then the little, bringing up the rear, making sure no one's left behind. There we go. Okay, now let's get this shut and out of the way so I don't make a total mess of myself. Now we'll take out these dimensionals and the tear and tape that came in the kit. I like to use a pair of tweezers, okay? So we're going to get our, okay, this one and this one. Okay, this one is going, and see, if you look, you can see how they're going to layer up on the card front. Let me go ahead and take the bone folder, give it a good press, make sure it's, so if you take your pieces and you put them on here, you'll see how they layer up, A and B and C and D. Okay, that'll help you figure out what needs dimensionals or not. So we're going to put dimensionals on a lot of them. Grab this sentiment, put a couple dimensionals on that one. And you know, when you use all these dimensionals, the edging here, those are sticky too. You can use those. They cut really easily to whatever size you need. Okay, and now I need dimensionals on here. and I'm going to put tear and tape on this one. There we go. It's kind of like paint by number. You see the design is on there already. Just lay it down on the design. See? There we go. This one, I think, a little bit of tear and tape on this one. I'm going to want it go in that direction, so I want the tear and tape over here. There's a limit to how many layers you want to have popped up. You know, you'll end up with a card that's 3 inches thick and won't fit in the envelope if we put dimensionals on every single panel. So we do have to use the tear and tape on some of these. And then this last one does have the dimensionals to add a little extra dimension. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Okay? And now, happy Father's Day. Oh, that is a nice card. Oh, I love it. I love the vellum here and just the dimension that you get. That's beautiful. Oh, let's see what the next one looks like. Okay, card number 2 has the itty bittiest, teeniest bit of stamping. All we're going to do is stamp just a little bitty, a few birds up in the corner. Let me go ahead and give it a good press with the bone folder. You know, I mentioned that all of the online kits and your first paper pumpkin kit come with these acrylic blocks. Of course, you can purchase acrylic blocks, and they have really nice little finger grips on them. These come in all different sizes, and you'll be sure not to drop your block that way. But I mentioned before that I did a little bike ride earlier, and all of the proceeds, I give 20% of the cost of every kit that's sold from my site, I add to my, in September, to my September Great Cycle Challenge. It's a fundraiser. It's a bicycle fundraiser for the Children's Cancer Research Fund. So, getting these kits is really a win-win-win. It's a win for you, it's a win for the Children's Cancer Research Fund, and it's a win for all of the researchers that they help out. They give grants to researchers to help them get their research to a point where they can actually then qualify for the big money grants. So, it's a very, very good organization to support. I'll have that information down below, and if you are a cyclist, you might want to join in the fun too. Okay. Let me make sure I put them on the right side. So we're just putting dimensionals on the backs of some of these panels here. This is just going to layer over this. That's why we wanted the dimensional towards the edge, so it would layer over. And we needed these trees, okay, and we want this one to have dimensionals on the back. You don't want to put dimensionals on the back of vellum because, boy howdy, will that show through. That's not really the best idea. The tear and tape does not show through much at all. Okay, let's see, which direction is this going to go? I'm believing we want the tear and tape on this side. Nope, it matches that mountain range. We want the tear and tape on this side. Okay. Some right across there. Where's the end? Okay. Now it's time to build this card. There we go. I bet this will go here. Yepper. Oh, now that is a winner. Oh, that is so pretty. Okay. And how quick was it? Half a shake. Oh, that's nice. I'm excited though for the third one. Let's take a look. Alrighty, let's finish up this third card. But this is the Stampin' Pad I was talking about. It's the Stampin' Piercing Pad. And when you're using a photopolymer stamp, I really, really, really like my glass mat underneath this grid paper. That way I have a good solid stamping surface. But if you don't have a glass mat and you're not ready to invest in one yet, these stamping piercing pads are wonderful for your stamping with the photopolymer stamps. So let me, I will stamp one on here and you can see what I'm talking about. But let's see what we're doing here. So this is the other card, the one with the big sun in the sky. And we're just going to stamp across it that you mean the world to me. Let me get my thing open. Because if you have like a card table that you're stamping on, and it's not a solid wooden or glass table, you may not get an even impression. But let's go ahead and we're going to stamp You Mean the World to Me using the piercing pad. And it just goes right across the sun. Let me make sure I see the sun. Okay, there we go. And look at that beautiful image. Perfection. So, sometimes what you have under your paper is just as important as what you're putting on top of your paper. Okay, let's get that out of the way because that is all the stamping we're doing on this card. And of course for the inside, you can use any of the other stamps in the set. You could stamp on the inside, Happy Birthday, You're the Greatest, Best Dad Ever, I Love You, whatever you want. Use it all. Okay, so here we go. We need these. And here we see this pecan pie is A, this is B, and this one is C. And they're all taking dimensionals. Okay, perfect. Oops. The grid paper slips on the glass, but before I had the glass mat and I was doing it just on the card table itself, I never had a problem with it slipping. So, and yeah, so this vellum is going to go ahead and get some. Well, that's unusual. Usually we wouldn't put dimensionals on the back of vellum, but it is going to be hidden. So that's okay. Let's get it across here and through. There we are. Now, we're going to put down panel A first. Get a little protective coating off the back. Okay. There is panel A. Here comes B. Do any of y'all live near mountains? Which mountains do y'all live near? Like I said, I'm fairly close to the Blue Ridge Mountains. Fairly close. My favorite bike trail, actually, I have a gorgeous view from a distance. There we go. And that was it. That was it. Look at this card. Ah, I love it. I really, really love this card. But while I've been working on these, I've actually had some other thoughts in mind. Y'all want to play a little bit? Let's go off and do our own thing. Okay, let me clean up and we're going to do some other stuff with this paper pumpkin materials. I do want to make the most out of my materials. Now, you see, the front and back are both decorated. I'm going to cut them apart so I have two different card fronts here. With the Stampin' Trimmer, you can so easily see where the cutting track is, and we're just going to cut them apart. Now, you have to look because you're going to have a little bit of your score line left on at least one of the sides. We don't want that. So we're going to trim off just, when I say just the score line, I mean it's just the score line. There you go. Itty bitty nothing. Okay. We're going to put this aside. We're going to use this for another card in just a minute. And, let me clean that up a little bit. Let me cut just a, didn't quite take enough. It was a little shady there. Okay, here we go. So we're going to work with this front. Oh, let me get some basic white. Basic white card stock is, I'm sure you probably have some in your card, in your craft closet. And if you don't have a US demonstrator, I'm here for you. You'll see my website up top and down below, and I will have all of the measurements down below also, and everything you need. But we're going to take some basic white cardstock, and we're going to come right here to the 5.5, and yes, this does go bigger. This whole arm does come out, and so you can actually do 17 inches. but we only need 5.5. So we're going to come to the 5.5, which is that nice long dark line. And there we go. Oh no, not what we're going to do. Okay, I wasn't paying too much attention. I'm going to use this for another card base, but I want to take my basic white and I want to have the 11 going up, and I want to come to 4.5, 4.25, and we're going to make an easel card, okay? And then we're going to score it at 5.5. I love this paper trimmer. It's got the score and the cutting blade on there together. And then we're going to come down to 2.25 and score it again. And we're going to set that to the side. Now, we're going to put this front together just like the directions had us do it, okay? So I'll go ahead and get these out if you wanted a reminder. There we go. So on the back of the trees, we're going to put dimensionals. And on the back of this panel, we will put dimensionals. And on the back of the, well, we've got this sentiment right here. We'll put a couple dimensionals on it. Okay. And then we'll put a couple on this plain white panel. All right. Oop. Need the tear and tape on this one. Turn it over. Let's see, because I wanted it, yes, I want it to fit that mountain peak. Okay. Now, let's take this. Let me go ahead and finish the front. We do want some Stampin' action, so I was doing it the way the directions said, so let me go ahead and get these birds on here. Guess I should have done that before I put the whole thing together, but that's okay. There we go. We'll just put a couple little birds on there. Very good. And while I've got my stamps out, I'm going to take this little word panel, and I have Happy Father's Day on it. And I'm going to put it on this word panel, and you will see that's going to be the stopper for the easel card. There we go. Let's put this away. Yes, I got some ink on that, but it's getting covered, so it's okay. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to take our basic white, and we are going to give it a good crease with the bone folder. When you're doing a fun fold, your bone folder is your best friend. You want to make sure these will go both ways. Alrighty. Now, we're going to attach this here. We don't want to go any higher than that, so I'm going to put my tear and tape right on this bottom panel. Putting it right along there. We do not want to adhere it to the entire front because this is going to be bending, okay? So, let's go ahead and see. We're going to need this as a stopper to help keep it upright. I think right about here is a good spot. So let's put some dimensionals on the back. And I'm going to show you what I like to do if I'm making it a stopper. I do like to double up and do it 2 dimensionals deep. Okay, now let's get the front on here. This really is simple, and it's such a pretty effect. And with these mountains and the trees, I just think it would be lovely to be able to put this up on have it sit on the desk, or have it sit on the counter in the hall or something. Oops, got a little crooked. No! Let me pull it over. There we go. There we are. No. Oh. Ah! This is really why I like the wet glue. You have a minute to move things around. Let me take it off. I think I'm going to be losing most of the adhesive, so I'll be pulling out some of my all-purpose liquid glue. Yeah. Oh well. That happens. Messed it up, but that's okay. It's going to be covered. There we go. Good bit of glue on there. Now it's straight. There we go. Phew. Second time's a charm, right? Crafting in chaos. Oh, cool, cool, cool. And now I'll put this one right here. And of course you could make this a birthday sentiment. You could say thank you, love you, whatever you want. Oh, I love it. And then this is a nice, big, tall stopper. So no matter how heavy it gets, it'll hold it. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that lovely? Wouldn't anybody be proud to have that on their table? If you want it down a little further, no problem. You can just pull it down and put your stopper along the bottom, and then it's more at an angle. Whatever floats your boat or cuts your tree. I love easel cards. I think they're a lot of fun. I really do. And then you've got all the room inside on which to write. Let's just go ahead and put it back up a little bit higher. There we go. There we go. And then you've got all that room to write. Love it. What do you think of that? How simple and easy is that? And if you're a beginning stamper, all you need to do is get some basic white cardstock, and you can make magic out of any card base from paper pumpkin. Just cut them in half, and there you have it. So I really, really like that, but I have plans for the back of the card. Okay. Hang with me. Let me get this cleaned up and we'll get started on number 2. I have pulled back in my Stampin' Trimmer, and I've got that card base that I cut just a minute ago by accident that I did at the 5.5, but it's not a big deal. I'm just going to take it in here and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. Get the cutting blade out of the way. So now I've got my card base ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and get it with the... Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this card base in half, just like we did with the other one. Okay, you can see where the score line is in the cutting track. So there we've got it cut apart, and I've got a little bit of the score line on there, so I'm going to take it off. I'm going to move this card base over to just where the dark gray meets the white. And that'll take off just like a 32nd of an inch. There we go. Little tiny nothing. Okay, this card I can go ahead and do just like the directions said. And I've got the other half of this card right here to put it on. So that'll be, I'll do a card with that one. But we're going to work with this right now. So this is using your paper pumpkin with other materials you might have around. So let me just open my stamp pad. And on here I've got the birds. First I want to do my sentiment to make sure that I don't make any boo-boos. Okay, so this is just a happy birthday. And we're just going to put the happy birthday right about there. And now we're ready to put some birds in the sky. Okay. There we go. Let's put these little ones. I'm going to leave off that big one at the bottom. No. I'll go ahead and leave that. We've got an eagle, folks. There we go. So we've got that all done up. Now I'm not going to use the materials because I'm going to use the vellum and the die cuts that came with this on the front of this card. what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my Stampin' Write markers. This is an easy way to get all of your colors without buying all of the ink pads to begin with, because look at this gorgeous set. The Loveliest Tree, and there we've got thank you, sending heartfelt sympathy, happy birthday, and congratulations. And guess what? It is a bundle. It comes with coordinating dies. So here you can do a small tree with the canopy and you've got some leaves, or you can do the larger tree. I'm going to use this big tree die, and here's the stamp, this gorgeous tree stamp. Now, typically we would want the trunk and the branches in brown and the ground and the leaves in green, or you could make it fall and you'd want it like oranges and reds. But all you have to do is take your Stampin' Write markers, which are refillable, by the way, and I have a video of how to refill these from a long time ago, and I'll go ahead and post that below too. But you get the ink refills, and you can refill the Stampin' Write markers, not the alcohol markers, not the blends. But you just take your marker and you literally just draw it on your stamp. Like so. Let's get the bottom. So this was Mossy Meadow, which on the back of our directions it said was a coordinating color. And this is the Pecan Pie. And I'm going to go ahead and color the trunk and branches in with the Pecan Pie. And now, just using a piece of white scrap, it's good to give it a huff, a breath, to add some moisture back to it. And just put it on a piece of scrap white paper or good white paper, whichever. And there you've got your multicolored stamp. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. And now I'm going to take this over to the counter, because this is a shaky table. So I'm going to take this over to the counter and I'm going to cut it with my Stampin' Trimmer and Embosser. Let me point out, this is the mini Stampin' Trimmer and Embosser. And just like the large, it unfolds. And the big full-size one does this too. You just unfold it and you put your plates in. And you've got your little crank there to cut through, and then you can fold it and the full-size one and get them out of your way. And I wanted to point out also, on all of our markers, you have a thick line and a thin line. The thin line is a pen tip, and the thick line is a brush tip. Typically, when you're coloring on your stamps like this, you would want to use your brush tip. Okay, so I have cut out my tree, and I'm going to put my tree on the front here. Let me grab some of those dimensionals. Where did they go? I had a whole, here we go. So I'm going to grab these dimensionals and I'm going to put these dimensionals on here. I'm going to cut a little piece. Remember I said these edges, you can use the edges. I'm going to cut just a little bit from the edge to fit it right down in there. There we go. Okay, before I put anything on there, I'm going to put it on the card front. Look at that. You know, I love shredding ribbon. I'm always shredding ribbon. I think I might add some shredded ribbon. Do you want to see how to shred ribbon? Let me find some good ribbon. Will that be good? That might be too thick. Okay. Be okay. If you want to add a little texture or a lot of texture, I don't want it quite this thick, so I'm not going to cut off just the binding. You need to cut off the binding on the edge of the ribbon, and then you can shred it, and I think it looks so cool. Then you just start pulling. Yes. Now, you know, we do have some dies that are like open scenery, so you could cut like trees and put it in front where you could peekaboo through to see what you have. That is really pretty. But I want to do this one for now. So I'm just going to lay it to see where I want it. I want it towards. Okay. Go. Lovely. I'm going to trim this down just a wee bit. It's a little long. These paper snips are handy. There you go. Ah, yes, I like that. And of course you can add some gems if you wanted, but no need for that. I think that looks beautiful just the way it is. Okay, I have a card idea using the back, this back, and this is definitely a fun fold, and it's got a lot of wow to it. It's not as hard as it's going to look. It is, when it's completed, it is perfection. Okay, well, let me get this cleaned up, and hang on, we'll be right back with the third alternate idea. I am ready to take it up about 3 notches. This is Lost Lagoon, and we're going to cut a basic card base at 5.5 by 8.5. Whoopsie. Helps if you start at the very bottom. There you go. And I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. Make sure that dark cutting blade is way out of the way. 4 1/4, and a nice score line. Okay. We are actually using this card base that I kept telling you we were going to use. This is the back of that other card. Okay, so now I need a piece of white. Is that going to be big enough? No. Okay, I need white, 5 by 8. Okay, so we'll trim this down to 5 inches. And now I'm going to open, I might keep that, I might put my something on that. Okay, now we open this up so we can get to 8. There you go, because remember it's 8.5 inches wide. Okay. Now, along this 8, we're going to, let me shut this, get it out of the way. Okay. Now we're going to score this one 3 times. We're going to measure to the 2 and score it, the 4 and score it, and 6 and score it. Okay. Let's take our bone folder. And we're going to fold all of these down in a good crease with the bone folder. Okay. Now we're going to have to take this and this over to the cutter, over to the Stampin' Cut and Trim and Emboss, Cut and Emboss Machine. But before I do that, I'm going to stamp on here, "You mean the world to me." Okay? And we'll do that. We'll just stick with the Misty Moonlight. Yes, you can color on these photopolymer stamps with your markers, just like the red rubber. Okay, and here, let's put here. You mean the world to me. I'm not going to put any birds on there yet. Okay, now I want to make this a swing card, which is really nifty. I'm going to bring in these textured note dies. Look at these beautiful rectangles. I want the 4th one. Okay? Look how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And each of them, it's a little design that you get cut out. Really cute. Okay. So I'm going to cut through both of these layers, but I'm not going to put any glue on here yet because I don't want to get glue on my die. So I'm going to cut right here. It's not in the middle. Okay? I'm just going to come over here. And I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to cut through both layers. I'll be right back. Okay, so one pass through and got it done. Nice, sharp. And do you see it's got a little edging around it? Let me pull that out. It's got a little edging around it. It's a decorative edge. I think that is so pretty. And I chose this one because it's pretty much a straight design. You've got some that are hashed, some that are little floral ideas, but this was a good size and I like the simple lines. Okay, now we're gonna glue this down. Depending on the printer you have, this is what my ink comes in for my printer. It's perfect. It'll hold, actually it's great for 2 of these all-purpose glues at a time. Nice little reuse, repurpose. We all like to do that, don't we? So I'm going to glue that one onto this one. Gives it a little bit more stability. And then we're going to a little bit of glue. Let me grab that bone folder real quick. Yes, I tend to craft in chaos. Craft in chaos with Carol. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's get this card finished and make the magic happen. We're going to have this one, first make sure it'll fold up like that, okay? Then you're going to want to fold, this is A, B, C, and D. You want to fold A under B, C over D, all right? We are going to attach this inside the card like this. A is here, remember? You want to make sure that your fold line for your white and your Lost Lagoon all match up together. So this is what it's going to look like when it's closed. Alright? So we're going to put just a little bit of glue here. I might just put a little bit of tear and tape. Let's do tear and tape. Tear and tape is strong and it holds and it doesn't get all over your fingers. And it came in the kit. So there we've got that. Now we're going to just put some tear and tape here. You might want to put 2 strips. I'll put 2. 2 little short ones. Okay. There we go. Alright. Now we want to stick down. Let's fold this one up that way. There we go. So you've got, looks like a box right there. And you close it. You only want your decorative piece. What did I do with it? Here it is. There we go. Isn't that so pretty? You only want this connected to this side, to this one right here. Okay? Now we want to be careful that we don't ooze glue everywhere. Okay? I'm going to grab some more tear and tape. And I'm just going to put some tear and tape here. And here. You can see your score line. You only want this side to have any adhesive. Now we're going to pop this back into place. It's so pretty. And when you open it, it should swing. So there your inside is decorated also. And then you can just stamp whatever you want and write whatever you want. I just wanted to show you how to make a swing card because they're so much fun. I think I do want to put a little bird on here, but I'm going to use these brass. They are adhesive-backed dragonflies and birds. So I'm going to grab a couple of these to decorate with. Because if you're making swing cards, you've probably got some extra items on hand, and you might have some of these cute little birds. So let's put one here, and we'll put this one here. And another one can go up here. Oh, I love it! I really like fun folds. What you think? Is this something you could see yourself making? I would recommend you use something with a smooth edge. Like this is textured, but it's textured on the panel. If you used something like the deckled circles I've done this with deckled circles before, and you have to work it in order for it to swing freely because the little teeth catch. But that is my third alternate. I love it. So let me clean everything up and let's take a look at all of the cards we did with this May 2025 Paper Pumpkin kit. May 2025 Mountain Majesties Paper Pumpkin. What did we do? Well, we followed the directions in the kit, and we have this gorgeous layered up, layers and layers, Happy Father's Day with the coordinating envelope. We have this beauty with its coordinating envelope with the trees. Thank you for being the person you are. And then this all layered up. We're letting the paper be the star here. You mean the world to me. Any of these would make such beautiful sympathy cards too. Okay, or get well cards. And then we went rogue. And remember, I'll have all the materials listed below. If you do not have a US demonstrator, I'm here for you. I invite you to visit my store, and all orders over $50, I do send you very detailed written directions on a special fun fold. And I think for this, I will probably right now include the directions for that swing card. Okay, so we used the back side of this card base and did this happy birthday with the loveliest tree, and then shredded some ribbon behind it just to add a little extra touch. Got a little piece of ribbon there. We used the front of this card and some basic white cardstock to create an easel card. I'm going to pull this in front and put that one right there. And then we used the back, where I cut this card base in half, and I used the back of that card base to create this swing card. I hope you like my cards. If you do, please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, and feel free to share the video. Like I said, if you don't have a US Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I am here for you. But until next time, keep making the world a beautiful place. Bye now.